All right, hey everybody, we're live on Facebook and YouTube and on our app to give you an update on what we're dealing with right now. We do have a tornado watch in place across South Texas. If you remember yesterday, we were talking about that marginal risk for severe weather. That risk is still out there, and with that, this tornado watch has been issued till 5 p.m. We actually have a tornado warning as well.
Yes, we do. So it's going to be right near the Bernie area. So there is going to be that tornado warning in effect. This is going to be north of downtown San Antonio. So if you're in San Antonio and you're looking north, possibly toward the Bernie area, you're definitely seeing those ominous skies. This tornado warning is in effect through about 11:15 a.m. this morning. Right now, it still has, it's about 11 a.m. right now. It still have several minutes on this warning.
Yeah, and this is right now that area of rotation that's in question. We're looking at multiple radars here on our phone, and you see that the rotation is looking like it's going to be crossing close to the Fair Oaks Ranch area. So if you know anybody in the Fair Oaks Ranch area, give them a heads up. Let them know that this is heading their way. And this is going to be, again, kind of moving off towards the northern parts of Bexar County, southern parts of Kendall County, and then shifting on off to the east there, heading along, I guess that would be Highway 46. So again, we do have a tornado warning in place. Please go ahead and get to that interior room of your home. You want to be on the lowest floor, and you want to be on the most interior room available. So
can we toss this graphic up full screen just so we can see this storm moving east? It is moving east.
Yeah, it is moving east at about 20 miles per hour. Again, flying to the things that we are looking for here are the danger of flying debris. Mobile homes could be damaged or destroyed by a tornado like this. We also will be on the lookout for damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles. So no one needs to be driving along I-10 at the moment. I'm actually going to zoom us down a little bit closer to the storm, so we can get a better idea of some of the roads and some of the communities out ahead of this. So Timberwood Park, Fair Oaks Ranch, I mentioned that earlier. We also have Highway 46. I think this area of rotation will pass close to where Highway 46 and 281 kind of meet. So that's going to be the kind of area that we're looking at there. And guys, I honestly think this is going to be really close to Fair Oaks Ranch itself and Scenic Oaks.
I agree with that.
Yeah, Cross Mountain, it may head just off to the north of you, but it's going to be so close that I would go ahead and be a safe spot as well. This is going to be crossing I-10 very soon. When I say very soon, I am talking about in 5 minutes. So if you have friends or family traveling along I-10 right now, please tell them to pull over and get to a sturdy structure, or at least that's if they're already within that area. If they're not there yet, tell them to pull over and just wait until this crosses I-10. We don't want anybody to put themselves in a dangerous situation, and a vehicle is not where you want to be as a tornado is crossing over.
And so let's talk about, you know, the best room to be in our houses. It's going to be in that interior room, a closet, a stairwell, whatever you can think of, and also that interior room. So that's kind of what we're looking at.
I lost audio. Sorry, guys. Again, that's the area that we're talking about there, right there next to Fair Oaks Ranch. And also, there was another community right there as well. And guys, something keeps going on my computer. I think that somebody at the station keeps clicking things. You're going to have to excuse me on that. Let me see if I can bring. All right, so that's that area of rotation that we're talking about at Fair Oaks Ranch. It's also near Scenic Oaks, and it's you see that tornado warning is until 11:15 a.m.
Yes, so this includes Timberwood Park, Cross Mountain, Fair Oaks Ranch, and also Bulverde. You guys are outside tornado warning, but still east, and the storm is moving the difference would be.
Guys, I'm sorry. We're losing audio here and there. I think somebody has been clicking somebody at the station, clicking something at the station. Anybody at the station, if you can hear us, please just kind of leave the computer alone. Again, we're working.
Also,
all right, guys. I think, yeah. Okay. We're back up again. And so this area of rotation is located right here at I-10 now. So some things keep going on with the computer. Just a heads up. We're working to try to make sure that does not continue. But that's that area of rotation.
And we're also live on TV right now. So meteorologist Stacia Wilson, she's also covering the tornado warning. Again, this tornado warning is in effect for parts of Bexar County. This includes the Bernie area. We're looking at Timberwood Park. Bernie, of course, just on the edge of this tornado warning, northwest of Bexar County. And this warning is in effect 11:15 a.m. Remember to seek shelter, take a deep breath, don't panic when this warning's in place, and just seek that interior room. If you're in a car and you're listening to us in the car, make sure to head to sturdy shelter as well. But of course, it's best on the roads, especially when you do have that tornado warning in place.
Yeah, and this is by the way passing southeast of Bernie. There's a lot of construction in this area, the Scenic Oaks and Fair Oaks Ranch area along I-10. That is going to be where this area of rotation, this where we think that possible tornado is, will be passing over. And we'll continue off to the east, kind of right where Comal County, southern portions of Kendall County, and northern portions of Bexar County. And I'm working right now, guys, on bringing up a better color table for us so we can see this just a little bit better.
So the rotation quite isn't as strong as what it was the past radar scans. It's a little more broad right now.
Yeah, this is where meteorologists Meagan and Massey and I first saw the rotation. I'm going to run it back a little bit, and you'll notice it as well. Kind of right on that northwest tip of Bexar County. That's where we first saw it, and we actually started setting up this live before this warning was even issued, because we saw that rotation started to pick up just a little bit. And that's the exact area that continued to shift on off towards the east, and is the reason why we still have this tornado warning issued. Rotation now right over the Scenic Oaks area.
So if you're in Scenic Oaks, make sure to seek shelter immediately. We're looking at the storm moving northeast, east-northeast at about 30 miles per hour. This is a tornado warning if you're just now joining us, in effect for Bexar and Kendall counties through 11:15 a.m.
So, and this is going to continue towards Bulverde. So you said it's moving off to the east-northeast at what speed again, Megan?
30 miles per hour.
All right, so let's put a little bit of a track on this. All right, so could be arriving towards Bulverde by 11:37 a.m. Excuse me, 11:37 a.m. The Fair Oaks Ranch Elementary School by 11:17. Scenic Oaks by 11:11. Of course, that's just 2 minutes. And then it will continue its way towards the Johnson Ranch Elementary School by 11:41. So that just kind of gives you a little bit of an idea of where the storm is heading to. So please just remember that if you're in those areas, go ahead and get to your safe spot. Even if you're not included in the tornado warning yet, we just want to keep everyone updated. And of course, you know, you can take your phone with you.
Yeah.
If you have your phone on you and you're watching us from your phone, whether it's on the Kens 5 app, or on Facebook or YouTube, you can take your phone with you and you can keep track of this update. And we're going to stay on this, so you don't have to worry about us. We're going to stay on it.
And we have a lot of you asking about the Canyon Lake area, and this is well south of the Canyon Lake area. Of course, most of these storms are moving east. So it looks like we'll be watching the track of this storm to see if it shifts more northeast. But as far as right now, the Canyon Lake area, I know, Vicki, you were asking about the Canyon Lake area. It looks like this warning will stay south of you as of right now.
Yeah, and it's still very far away from you. And here's the thing. A lot of these tornadoes have been brief spin-ups today that we've been watching, the ones that are closer towards Austin. So this is our first warning today in our viewing area.
Right.
But the ones that have been occurring towards Austin have been brief spin-ups. This one will likely be one as well. It may not even continue to a second tornado warning. Not saying that it won't, but we will continue to watch that closely. Right now, Canyon Lake, not an issue, though. The main issues are Scenic Oaks, Fair Oaks Ranch, and I would even say Timberwood Park. And
for those of you asking about the New Braunfels area, you could see New Braunfels kind of on the far right of the screen. Andrew, can we go ahead and put a tracker on this again?
Oh, yeah. Let me zoom out. Okay. So, guys, our computer is a little bit slow, so just hang with us a little bit. So sometimes it takes for us to be able to zoom out here from home.
So that's if this storm holds together. So we've put a storm tracker on the New Braunfels area. So I would say, you know, right around noon or so,
12,
give or take a few minutes.
You see 1218 in green, and that's pretty much New Braunfels, maybe a little bit east New Braunfels, so northeast rather. So that lets you know New Braunfels around maybe noon to 12:10.
That's what I would say too. We do have that tornado watch in effect until 5 p.m. It is more humid. It's also warm outside. So we do have the ingredients in place to support some brief spin-up tornadoes. You were just talking about Bastrop, Hayes counties, you know, areas east of Austin, and also Travis County. They were included in a few tornado warnings this morning, also a very large severe thunderstorm warning. So we definitely have the environment favorable to support some brief spin-up tornadoes and also some severe storm. The primary concerns with any strong to severe storms, like we've been saying, the brief spin-up tornadoes, but also quarter-size hail and damaging wind gust. We have a disturbance moving right over Texas this morning, so that's really the cause for these showers and thunderstorms.
Yeah, and it's they're sparking these storms, and because these storms are growing so quickly, it's leading to that possibility, and there's a little bit of rotation in the atmosphere too. It's leading to that possibility of tornado warnings and tornadoes to possibly form. I know the National Weather Service had mentioned earlier that they had that possibility of a confirmed tornado that was outside of our viewing area, but that lets you know that it's definitely possible for these tornadoes to form. So I'm checking out with the National Weather Service right now, and Megan, I'm going to check up on this if you want to take over real quick.
So the tornado warning affects New Braunfels also. It does not. And also to answer Robert your question, so the storm is staying well north of downtown. I'm guessing you're saying San Antonio. It will stay north of downtown San Antonio. So yes, that is. But if you live in New Braunfels, don't let your guard down. This storm could move a little bit more easterly versus northeast. So are they saying any new updates with the warning?
They're saying that the Bexar County tornado warning, which is the one that we're talking about for us, that's going to be the Kendall County, Comal County. You just saw it disappear. It's going to be replaced with the severe thunderstorm warning. So
but still that tornado possible.
Yeah, you're about to see that pop up, and they add something called a tornado possible tag, like what you just mentioned, and that's what they're going to add to this severe thunderstorm warning.
We have Helotus ?
Helotus is good. This is off to your north. So Helotus, not a concern in this, but you know, I'm going to zoom it back down to where that rotation was, so we can see exactly where it is. And I'm going to go ahead and put San Antonio on the screen too. That way you can see where everybody is in comparison. I know a lot of us are newer to San Antonio. You may not know exactly where you live. you know, down the line, maybe check out exactly where this stuff could be, because this is an area where we do typically see strong to severe storms. I'm going to go ahead and pull up velocity here so we can see exactly where that rotation is. And again, here's Helotes. You see where it is on the screen. You see Hollywood Park. This is the rotation. And the rotation, you see that severe thunderstorm warning, just like the National Weather Service said they were going to issue.
And this still does not include New Braunfels quite yet, and it has been on time. So now we have this newly issued severe thunderstorm warning in effect for northern part of Bexar County, still north of downtown San Antonio, through 12:15 this afternoon. Yeah, and the wind is about 60 miles per hour. That's going to be one of the threats. And then 3/4 of an inch hail. So that would be damaging, you know, damaging hail if you have strong wind blowing it. So that will be something important to keep an eye out for. I'm just checking everything on our system here that we use to go live, making sure everything's good. We had a little bit of an issue earlier on in the Facebook Live, but we're fine now. So that rotation, again, there's no more tornado warning. But there is a tornado that could be possible storm. We still have that possibility, in other words, when I say that, of a brief spin up. And that brief spin up would occur in this part of the storm. The area that is passing over I-10 at the moment and Fair Oaks Ranch. By the way, something else important to know about this part of the storm, this is going to be where we have that damaging wind more likely. Correct.
So sometimes damaging wind can be just as impactful as a tornado.
And that's why you need to stay away from windows too.
Right. So if you're in this severe thunderstorm warning, take it seriously. You know, take it just like you would with a tornado warning. Be in the interior room of your home. Stay updated, you know, right here on our Facebook Live, YouTube, or on our app. Areas included where I think the stronger winds are going to head to. I'm going to go ahead and circle that area, almost like a mini polygon. That Highway 46 area where it meets 281. You know, I included Cross Mountain. I think it is going to be north of you. So I would almost cut that off right there at that bottom point. But you see 281 where it meets 46, just west of that area and just south of that area along 281, just west along 46. That's where we're going to see some of those stronger winds pass through, and that possibility for the tornado to reform.
Right. So I'm looking at, you know, the rotation on a couple of our radar products in-house, and it looks like the rotation is still pretty broad, but definitely worth monitoring, especially right over Scenic Oaks right now, Fair Oaks Ranch. We have a few cloud-to-ground lightning strikes there, but not as electric.
Yeah, not as electric by any means. Definitely not dealing with as much of an issue there, not seeing anything in the way of major lightning strikes like what we can sometimes see with these.
So we do have this new severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 12:15 p.m. This does not include New Braunfels, but if you live in New Braunfels along the I-35 corridor, don't let your guard down. You know, keep watching this storm. Garden Ridge, just on the outside of this warning. Selma, Live Oak, Schertz, Hollywood Park. You guys are just south of this severe thunderstorm warning. Canyon Lake. Definitely noisy over you right now. You're looking at very heavy rain, a lot of cloud to ground lightning. The good news is Andrew and I will be staying on top of this severe thunderstorm warning. So if you lose power because of the lightning, we'll still stay live on Facebook and our KINS 5 app.
Yeah.
So this is the only severe thunderstorm warning we have in place over South Texas right now. This is still north of San Antonio. I know some of you are asking, how is Floresville looking right now? So what we're going to do is take a wider view and look at all of South Texas just to give you that perspective on where this warning is. So this is kind of what we're looking at. There's still those 2 tornado warnings just east of the Austin area. This does not include Travis County. We do have that tornado watch in place until 5 p.m. So still several hours with this tornado watch, and we still have several hours with an atmosphere that is favorable to produce some brief spin up tornadoes, damaging wind gusts up to 60 miles an hour, and possibly quarter size hail. Yeah,
and you know, much of the storms that are going to be having that possibility for causing tornadoes are currently passing through. So
Right.
something that the National Weather Service typically does, this tornado watch will be for a long period of time, but they'll trim back the counties over time. So I imagine we'll see some of our counties back before 5 p.m. But they issue that so that they can cover that whole area, let you know, hey, this area could have that possibility until 5 p.m.
I would definitely still stay, even though this isn't a tornado warning. That tornado warning has been allowed to expire. There's still that tornado possible tag that the National Weather Service has included with this newly issued severe thunderstorm warning that's still in effect through 12/15. So we still have quite a few, we still have a lot of time on this warning, and so we are going to keep our eyes on it. We'll zoom back in. If you're in downtown San Antonio, and let's say you're looking north toward Dallas, north toward the Austin area, you're definitely seeing those ominous skies over Hollywood Park right now, over New Braunfels. So we're still looking at this severe thunderstorm warning just west of New Braunfels. But if you're in San Marcos too, I definitely wouldn't let your guard down. You're not included in this severe thunderstorm warning, but it is possible if this storm holds its strength as it moves east at about 30 miles an hour, that warning could be extended.
Yeah, so it's important that you go ahead and continue this. No one needs to be driving along 46 right now or 281 just because of those stronger winds that are associated with this storm. Have there been any confirmed tornadoes today, Brian? The answer is not for our area. They did confirm that a tornado occurred east of San Marcos, outside of the Kens 5 viewing area. So that is something that is possible for us. That just lets you know if one already has occurred, it is still possible.
So I'm going to put on storm reports here so you can see what has been officially reported. So this is the last 24 hours.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like, they said that the tornado had been spotted there east of New Braunfels, but it doesn't look like the National Weather has put out an official report on it yet.
They're really busy right now, so it's probably taking some time to actually officially submit those reports.
So once the National Weather officially support into the system, then it pops up on our system here. So right now you don't see it, but within chat they did say that the tornado was spotted east of San Marcos. That was earlier. That was an earlier one. That's not currently a tornado warning anymore. But that was earlier today outside of the Kens 5 viewing area. But right now, I do want to mention something else because we are having a lot of heavy rain out there. It is needed. We wish we could get it without the strong to severe storms as well. We are getting a few strong storms out there. And Megan, I don't know, we're in your show right now. Do you have future clouds and radar that we can show?
So what we'll show here is just what our timecast has been showing, and it's been doing a pretty good job on picking up the showers and thunderstorms we've had this morning right around 7 to 10 a.m. So we already heard some heavy rain right here in Bexar County, even in downtown San Antonio earlier. Now, as we go through time here, we're still looking at additional showers and storms trying to pick up. So this is over Cuero, Gonzales, Carnes City, Victoria, the San Antonio area up into New Braunfels, San Marcos, also Austin. We're still looking at showers and thunderstorms moving east right around 1 p.m. today.
Yeah, so those will continue to move off to the east, and you see the really pick up by about 3 p.m. Some of those pinks showing up, that's going to be that really heavy rainfall and the possibility for large hail, some of the stronger storms. Cuero could be getting some heavy rain by that point, and all this will continue to shift off to some much needed rain, hopefully with nothing severe, down towards the Victoria area.
So it's possible some more of our eastern counties could be included in a watch later today, 3 p.m. So they could extend it. It looks like San Antonio's severe weather threat will begin to drop off right around mid-afternoon today.
Yeah. And then things really quiet down as we get closer towards sunset, which is typical. So things should start to quiet down for us. Maybe a few lingering showers at about 8 p.m. in Gonzales, maybe even a few lingering showers in County, but nothing really heavy like what we had this morning. Northwest portions of Bexar or San Antonio even had some very heavy rain move through this morning.
Let's look at temperatures right now, because I know a lot of us have high temperatures now in the upper 70s to low 80s. still at 74 in San Antonio. It's because of the recent rain. It's because of the thicker cloud cover over viewing area, but less cloud cover over Pearsall and Cotulla. They're a little bit warmer now in the low 80s. George West, mid 80s. We have Pleasanton at 78 degrees. We're in the 60s right now at Bernie, of course. That's where they're seeing heavier rainfall. We've been talking about a southeast wind, and Weather Chief Bill Taylor last night, he talked about the Gulf Fetch. What that means is that southeast wind will drive in the humidity, and our main source for humidity is the Gulf of Mexico. So it's a lot more humid today, hence the tornado watch in place. So now we have the conditions, and now we have the ingredients that are favorable to support some strong to severe storms.
Yeah, moisture is important when we're talking about storm development, and we have a lot of moisture out there for today. We talked about how over the weekend we were going to have those winds switch out of the southeast. We were talking about just yesterday on the Facebook Live.
Right.
And those southeast, they really brought in the moisture just as expected.
And I heard the wind howl outside my window last night. So it was breezy last night. It's windy today, especially along the coastal bend. We've had gusts reach about 25 miles an hour right now. So this is our current wind speed and direction. So still looking at a southerly wind right now at 13 miles per hour in the city.
Yeah, and I see Kelly asking about Nixon. Nixon is not having any concerns right now, Kelly. The storms are off and not impacting you at the moment. The stronger storms are going to stay off to your north. So that's the good news.
Yeah.
You see where the storms are. It's really even north of San Antonio, north of I-10, and that's where the storms are going to be staying for majority of today. So you're fine right now, Kelly.
And then Brian Williams saying, looks like much needed rain in the Edwards recharge zone.
That is correct. And not only in our portion of the Edwards Aquifer, it's that the Edwards Aquifer goes all the way up and into the Austin area. Man, they've had a ton of rain up there. And that's great.
Yeah. It's been slow moving rain, especially along I-35. Wouldn't be surprised to see some, slowdowns on I-35 too.
Yeah. And I see a question about the Stone Oak area from Elizabeth. The severe thunderstorm warning we're talking about is off to your north, and it will stay further off to your north. So you see Hollywood Park. Well, Stone Oak, actually, you're probably going to be right on the edge of it. But, I mean, the really strong portion of the storm should stay just off to your north.
I agree with that. So San Antonio, downtown San Antonio in the clear right now. But we could see more showers and thunderstorms this afternoon.
Yeah, more showers and storms will develop, and it'll bring heavy rainfall. We could see some strong winds. And actually, you know what, Elizabeth? You may get some really strong winds still there in the Stone Oak area. So nothing tornadic right now. And I'm actually going to pull up rotation just so we can get a better idea, see if there is any rotation, rather velocity to see if there's any rotation. So give me 1 second, guys. I'm adjusting all this real quick. Again, if you're just now joining us, we do have a tornado watch until 5 p.m. That is for Bexar County and areas off to the north and east. If you are west and south of Bexar County, you are not included in this tornado watch. So still not very impressive rotation. I'm going to switch the color table real quick, guys, because it kind of helps me a bit to see myself.
And it's pretty broad. We're still looking at, some high wind gusts, some gusty winds, especially east of Scenic Oaks, right around Fair Oaks Ranch and Cross Mountain. This is just east of you too. So this is giving Bulverde and Timberwood Park a heads up. If you're in both of those areas, just, we're still looking at broad rotation right now. The storm is moving in your direction, and it looks like the primary concern right now is just going to be gusty winds.
Yeah, Bulverde and Timberwood Park, you're definitely going to heaviest of the rain and the strongest of the winds with this. I'm going to throw on hail real quick, guys, because I would like to see what the hail is like out there as well. Give me 1 second. Pea-size hail, nothing too impressive. So I just wanted to see that real quick, guys, because sometimes, especially here in South Texas, we can end up with large hail. So it's nice to see that we're not seeing too much of an issue with that right now.
I would say there's a pretty decent wind in Canyon Lake too. You guys are just east of this warning, and I know a lot of you were asking about Canyon Lake. You guys are just outside of this warning now, so it is possible if this storm holds its strength that severe thunderstorm warning could be extended into the Canyon Lake area.
And honestly, Canyon Lake has a noisy thunderstorm over them themselves.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, there probably were some high winds and also pockets of blinding rain there. Also, many cloud-to-ground lightning strikes. Heads up to Wimberley and to Wood Creek, also San Marcos, and it looks like the National Weather Service has just issued a flash flood warning that expires in 3 hours. So let's get the details on this. So the flash flood warning is in effect for central Comal County until 2:30. It looks like between 2 and 3 inches of rain has already fallen, and they could see ongoing heavy rain expected again.
All right, and I'm going to go ahead and, Megan, if you want to take it away, I'm going to check out some river data over here on my computer.
So this is mainly in effect for flood-prone areas. Of course, we've been talking about the drought the last several days. So when you get that heavier rain, it definitely takes time to soak into the soil. So now we have that severe warning in place through 12:15 this afternoon. We also have that flash flood warning in effect. This includes Bulverde up into Canyon Lake. I know some of you on our Facebook Live have been asking questions about the Canyon Lake area. You're receiving some blinding rain right now. We've had rainfall totals reach 2 to 3 inches already. So rainfall rates likely 2 inches plus, maybe even up to 5 inches. We're just seeing some bright reds on reflectivity, aka radar. And when we see those bright reds, that's showing that heavy rain, which is currently falling over Canyon Lake right now.
Yeah, and right now all the river data looks fine. Not seeing anything in the way of any big issues. Still
it will
could
take
have
time.
some. It will take time to flow into the creeks and rivers. Something to be careful of though, especially ponding on the roadways. That's going to be an issue. So take it easy on those turns on those curvy highways up there in Comal County. I know that up there in the hill country, those roads, especially 46, really windy roads.
So let's talk about some of the areas that will experience flash flooding over the next 3 hours. That's where the current flash flood warning is in place for the next 3 hours. Some of these locations include the Canyon Lake Dam, Canyon Lake, Bulverde, Smithson Valley, Spring Branch, Timberwood Park, and so those are just a few locations to name. Remember, don't drive through high water. I know we've been driving around the hill country and we often see those flood gauges, so use those and definitely take the necessary precautions with that.
Yeah, there really is. And guys, we're going to look outside of our area real quick. Some people that we're working with here on the National Weather Service chat are saying that there could be a tornado, could be a confirmed tornado in northeast Bastrop County. So we're close enough to these, the people up towards Giddings and Bastrop. We want to make sure they're informed as well. If you know anybody that's up in Bastrop and Lee County, this is outside of the Kent 5 viewing area. This storm is moving away from us, so it's not a concern for South Texas, but I know a lot of us have family and friends up towards this region. We're seeing some reports that this tornado could be confirmed. This is going to be moving, and guys, let me take lightning off real quick. So this is going to be moving towards Mannheim. I believe I said that correctly. If I said it incorrectly, you'll have to excuse me. Lincoln, Giddings, it will be just west of Giddings, and it looks like it'll cross 290 and then make its way up 21. Again, this is outside of the Kent 5 viewing area.
But looking at the rotation, it's very strong. So
yeah, we're looking at actually another product on our phones, and guys, that's going to be a tornado right there. That's definitely going to be a tornado. And if you know anybody who lives in this area, even within Giddings, maybe in Lincoln, moving up 21, that is going to be where Bastrop goes into Lee County. Please give your family and friends a heads up. Again, this is outside of our viewing area. This storm will not be impacting the Kent 5 viewing area. But if you have friends and family in Bastrop and Lee County, we're all close-knit here in Texas, even if we are far apart. please give them a phone call, because we need everybody in that area to go ahead and get to their safe. Again, no tornado warnings right now in South Texas. That's Central Texas. That's the Austin, Texas viewing area. We still just have a severe thunderstorm warning over. Does not have a tornado warning with it.
And the rotation is not as strong in the storm that is right over Bexar County right now. So that's the best thing. You know, the storm just near Giddings, that's right now the strongest rotation, I would say, on radar currently.
Yolanda asked about Del Rio. Nothing Rio, no concerns in Del Rio. So you're fine, Yolanda. Jessica says, has there been a tornado? I got an alert to take shelter over by Leon Valley. Jessica, that's because there was a tornado warning for a part of Bexar County that actually was outside of Leon Valley, but you'll still get those alerts on your phone sometimes. That tornado warning has expired. We have not gotten any confirmations of damage, so the tornado may have not touched down, but the conditions were definitely favorable for tornado. So Jessica, I hope that answers you. You're fine.
And yeah, the last couple of radar scans, we've been watching this for a couple of hours. We were watching that circulation kind of tighten closer to the Bernie area. Then we had that tornado warning issued. That tornado warning was allowed to expire because that circulation, that rotation within that storm really began to weaken and it turned broad. So that's why they downgraded the tornado warning to a severe thunderstorm warning with the tornado possible tag. And of course, it's just best to be prepared in this situation. You know the drill. If there's ever a tornado warning or severe thunderstorm warning in effect for your community, your neighborhood, over your house, just seek that interior room and put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. And of course, stay away from those. We still have to take strong wind gusts just as seriously as, you know, rotation.
Yeah, because strong wind gusts, I mean, I had experienced back in Mississippi when I was growing up, a severe thunderstorm warning can cause sometimes just as much, even sometimes more damage than a tornado. Actually, my first job in Jonesboro, Arkansas, we had something called a derecho come through, and the derecho caused a lot more damage than a tornado than they recently had up there. So that lets you know severe thunderstorm warnings can be just as serious as a tornado warning. So just take this seriously. You know, stay in that interior room. The strongest winds are now approaching the 281 corridor. I'm going to zoom down to the storm itself. The strongest winds will be north of Hollywood Park, Timberwood Park, and then into Bulverde. That's where the stronger winds are going to be headed to. It's going to be right where that heavier rain is as well. That's right on your doorstep. You're likely already experiencing heavy rain, and the stronger winds will be moving in shortly. So let me go ahead and put an arrow where I think it's going to be heading to. So guys, again, that dark red area, it's going to be moving right over Timberwood Park and Bulverde and crossing 281.
And you just looked at hail tracker too, and you said pea-size hail was the main concern there, so less than quarter size.
Yeah, so that would not be considered damaging hail at pea size, but the strong winds could be damaging winds. That's what we'll be looking out for.
And if you have any reports or you would like to make a safe report and send it to us, make sure to post it to social media using the hashtag KINS5Witness. You can also email us, mmassey@kins5.com or awilson@kins5.com. We'd like to see your reports. You guys are our eyes out there. Keep your eyes on the sky too, because we're still looking at the threat for some strong to severe thunderstorms as we move into this afternoon.
Yeah, and I'm going to zoom it back out, guys, so you can see the area as a whole. See more questions about different areas, what could be going on in different spots. So, I accidentally drew something else. Give me 1 second, guys. Again, working from home has its challenges. Back out so you can see where everything is. It's really now very northern portions of Bexar County, Comal County's prepping a lot of heavy rain, and that also severe thunderstorm warning. And
also the flash flood warning that's in place.
Exactly.
So we're still looking at, you know, some weather since already picked up 2 to 3 inches of rain over many areas in Comal County, and we're still looking at very high rainfall rates. So definitely take the flash flood threat seriously if you live in a flood-prone area.
Yeah, and we also have heavy rain still falling upstream from the Guadalupe, from Canyon like along the Guadalupe River. You see in East Kendall County, Southern Blanco County, also seeing that heavy rainfall move through. And guys, we're both kind of, meteorologist Meagan, Massey, and myself, we're both kind of trying to gather information here just on different computers. So if you see us looking away at one point, know that it's just because we're working on all these multiple workstations from home.
Yeah, so we're definitely still looking at the high wind threat, and that's moving east toward Timberwood Park. These showers and thunderstorms are really slow moving, so we are going to keep flash flooding as a concern too. Pretty messy along I-35, San Marcos, Redwood, Kyle, Buda, up into the Austin. We're still looking at very, very heavy rain.
Yeah, so a lot of heavy rain moving through there. I mean, it would not be fun. Typically, there's already a little bit of traffic jam in Kyle and Buda, but the heavy rain is just going to make things a little bit tougher on the roadways there.
Right. So we're still looking at some broad rotation there. But
Somerset south of the city, or Somerset south of the city, not expecting any issues there for you, Ann. So you're fine. All of these storms are north of the city, northern Barrett County, and they're moving away from the city.
Are there any updates with any the National Weather Service or any of that?
I'm not seeing any updates from them. So, so they say that the circulation for that storm that's outside of our viewing area is now near Highway 290, and they're not seeing a tornado on the ground at this time from a call earlier on. So that, again, outside of our viewing area. We're keeping an eye on our neighbors, though, just like we always will.
And then what about the rivers?
Checking the rivers now. I'm also checking Canyon Lake. So I wanted to see the level of Canyon Lake. It's only 93% full. So the rainfall that we're seeing is going to help the lake. I don't think it's going to be enough to cause any big flood concerns. The lake is already a little low, so, and it even has a bit of a flood pool. So, I mean, it's able to handle more water if it needs it, but I don't even think we're going to have to even get close to having to use the flood pool. So there's no concern with the lake. But I'm watching the Guadalupe River as well, because that's going to be right where a lot of the heavy rainfall has occurred, is right along the river there, and I'm not seeing any issues right now.
So I went ahead and put on the flash flood warning just so you guys could see where that warning is in place. It does include Comal County through 2:30 p.m.
And again, this is flash flood alley. This is where we typically see flash flooding. So I mean, it's important to take a flash flood warning seriously. Make sure you stay out of low-lying areas. Areas that are likely going to be impacted by this flash flood warning are going to be areas that typically experience flooding whenever we have heavy rainfall. Think about those low water crossings. Think about areas that are just low in general, near creek beds. Those are going to be the spots that experience the flash flooding more likely.
Right, and Claire, you had a question about the Hollywood Park area. This severe thunderstorm warning and also flash flood warning in effect is just north of you. Looks like you still have a pocket of heavy rain over you, maybe hearing a few rumbles of thunder. But most of the active weather is just north of you and also moving away from Hollywood Park.
Yes. The tornado warning that was, by the way, parts of Bastrop and into Lee County, that has now expired. So I think the state of Texas as a whole now doesn't have a, is it okay if it's back on?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, cool. Wanted to make sure I didn't delete anything that you were working on here on the computer. I think we don't have any tornado warnings Central or South Texas now. Actually, no, if I look off to the northeast, there is that tornado warning. They expired a tornado warning rather. Okay, so still a tornado warning up there for portions of Lee and Bastrop County. Another one of the tornado warnings they had earlier in Lee County has expired though. But
it looks like it expires in about 16 minutes, so that tornado warning's in effect until noon. Of course, there have been confirmed reports of possibly a tornado near that area, correct?
Yeah, and that was earlier on today. Meteorologist Meagan, Massey, and I were watching this very closely because it was so close to the Kent 5 viewing area. It was just outside of it. we were seeing that a tornado is likely east of Lockhart. So east of San Marcos, east of Lockhart, and then moved off to the north and east. Again, that is outside of the KENS 5 viewing area. But whenever anything is even close to us, we like to keep a close eye on it just in case something were to happen. I see some questions about different spots, and I want to answer y'all's questions too. I see the converse wind crest area going to get hit today. Kat, it is possible. Right now, not a concern for you, though.
So it looks like most of the active weather is north of San Antonio right now. And I know some of you are asking, you know, are there going to be additional thunderstorms like this later today? The answer is yes. We still have this disturbance right over Texas right now. We still have an environment favorable for brief spin-up tornadoes, damaging wind gusts, quarter-size hail, and also that flash flood threat still exists. Hence why Bexar County and northern counties up into central Texas have been under that tornado watch, and that tornado watch will stay in effect through 5 p.m. this afternoon. Andrew, you made a good point about how we go through time and the National Weather Service will trim back counties. So that is something our KENS 5 weather team will stay on top of. If we start seeing counties trimmed out of the tornado watch, of course, we'll let you know. And also if any counties are added later today, we'll also let you know.
Yeah, so right now, I did just get an update from the National Weather Service here, Megan.
Okay.
And that was the severe thunderstorm warning that included portions of Kendall County has been canceled.
Okay.
But the severe thunderstorm warning for Comal and Bexar County has continued. And that's because that stronger part of the storm that was in southeast Kendall County is no longer there anymore. It's moved off to the east. So that's why you've been removed from the severe thunderstorm warning.
So we're going to continue the severe thunderstorm warning for another 30 minutes.
So I'm seeing Patricia says horseshoe area on River and Canyon Lake getting pounded with heavy rain and thunder at this time. Patricia,
yeah, I see that.
I'm willing to bet that you are seeing some really heavy rain there. A lot of also healthy rain for the lake itself. But I mentioned this the other day. We have a lot of rain expected over the next 7 days. And,
right.
And Megan, I don't know if you want to bring that up. Do you have that within your show here?
Yeah, I do. In fact, we're seeing a rise in our rainfall forecast.
Yeah, guys, we could see a significant amount of rain over the next 7 days. I mean, 5 inches of rain.
Well, we've already had 2 to 3 inches in some spots over Comal County. So
yeah.
I'd say that maybe a little bit more over the next 7 days now.
Guys, that amount of rainfall could be a flood concern. So please be aware of the forecast throughout this week. Now, don't worry, we're not getting off just yet, but I just want to really hit this home. Please pay attention to the forecast this week. If you live near a river, pay close attention, because if this heavy rain does occur, and it's all at once, which is possible because Saturday is going to be a really heavy rainmaker.
Well, we've already seen 3 inches occur at once already in the last hour or so.
It's something that also does not go well with us as we head into Saturday, which is when we're expecting majority of this rain to fall, is the ground will now be saturated. So there will already be a lot of moist ground from the rain that we have today and over the next few days. You see the 7-day forecast here.
So we've increased rain chances up to an 80% on Saturday. So that's telling you that our best rain chances this week will be this weekend. We're looking at, Friday evening into Saturday as what we're looking at. Can't rule out a few strong to severe storms once again on Saturday. It is going to be warm. It's going to be more humid. We'll actually have heat indices low in mid-90s Thursday and Friday, staying pretty muggy by Saturday. So even though we're looking at a lot of rainfall today, and we've seen blinding rain over South Texas, we're looking at even higher rainfall totals and higher rainfall coverage by Saturday. Yeah,
so really heavy rainfall on Saturday after we get a little bit of rain here and there beyond today. So to Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
So let's go back to radar. There's still those warnings in place east of Austin.
And Megan, I wanted to mention this real quick. We had that Bastrop storm that we were talking about?
Yes.
We've had a confirmed report damage from a tornado. So we'll actually have those reports on our storm reports now. And this was in Bastrop. Again, this is not Bastrop, Bastrop County. And there's reports of a roof taken off a house, small barn destroyed, and cars split.
So there's the tornado icon there. This is the storm report that we've been looking at. Of course, this is the last 24 hours.
Yeah, and remember, I told you earlier, if you've been watching for a while, we cannot see these reports of confirmed tornadoes until the National Weather Service files the report. There's that report that we were talking about. We said once it comes in, we'll be able to show it to y'all.
Right. So the time of that report about 10:55 a.m. So it's taken some time. I know it's now 11:50 in the morning, so it takes some time. You know, the National Weather Service is a little busy right now, but they're putting in these reports as we speak.
Yeah, they're working. I'm sure they're all working, have their challenges with work, just like many of us do right now.
So heavier rain, and we still have that severe thunderstorm warning in effect that will continue for the next several minutes. Some of you are asking about the New Braunfels area. Definitely stay alert if you live in New Braunfels, because the storm could be moving in your direction. We'll really be watching for if it changes direction at all, and storms can definitely do that.
And guys, I also want to mention something. You know, we're not getting off here on the Facebook Live yet, but it is 11:50. In 10 minutes, Ken's 5 Eyewitness News starts at noon. We have our noon show coming on with meteorologist Stacia Wilson, who will be on giving updates as well. There will also be, I'm sure, different weather updates coming in from around the region. We may even have a report coming out of Austin with that the tornado warning that was in Bastrop, which is their viewing area. Quick explanation of why I say that. They're going to be having all the latest updates on this, and of course everything that we're watching across the region. I know that we had some breaking news this morning beyond the weather spectrum. That's going to be on Ken's 5 at noon. So again, that's less than 10 minutes away now. It's about 9 minutes away. We are staying on here though, so don't worry, we're not hopping off here just yet.
So some of the locations that could be impacted by gusty winds and also pea-size hail, it's going to be the Canyon Lake area, Bulverde, Spring Branch, Smithson Valley, Timberwood Park, and Honey Creek State Natural Area. So those are just a few areas to name that are currently under this severe thunderstorm warning. The main hazard with this will be the 60-mile-an-hour wind gust. You know, the storm is kind of a slow mover. It's now really slowed down to about 15 miles per hour. So we talked about that, you know, tornado warning earlier, and then it was downgraded to a severe thunderstorm warning. That was that storm at the time was moving at about 30 miles per hour. So now we're half that. We're about 15 miles per hour. It's still moving east, so that's why I think New Braunfels, you guys will need to really watch this storm.
Yeah. Seeing a preliminary of a flash flood in 3 miles south-southwest in Bexar County.
So we have water over roadways being reported.
And that's going to be kind of closer on towards the Timberwood Park and Bulverde area.
Okay. So they'll be putting in that information shortly, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's a preliminary report, so it shouldn't pop up there just yet. But just a heads up, we do have reports now coming in of possibly water over the roadways in some areas, so please drive carefully out there, guys. If you see water over the road, do not try to drive through it. Turn around, don't drown. Comal County is really about to see that possibility as well, with another round of rain about to move in.
So that's that flash flood warning in effect for Comal County too.
Yeah.
That's in effect through 2:30. It looks like between 2 and 3 inches of rain have fallen, and flash flooding is ongoing or expected to begin shortly for those areas.
Yeah, and Jose says, will it affect Kansas? Jose, the answer is no. You're fine where you are.
So this is all north of downtown San Antonio. We're still looking at a few brief hit or miss showers over San Antonio right now, just southwest of Helotes too.
Yeah, and if you know anybody driving north along I-35, they actually just issued a flash flood warning for Hays and Travis counties. So that's going to be Austin area and San Marcos area.
Not by that, since they've seen some slow-moving showers along the I-35 corridor too. do here is we'll kind of sweep north to get a view of what's going on, north of San Antonio. So blinding rain in San Marcos, New Braunfels, you should see some light rain right now. And there's that flash flood warning in effect through 2:30. So I'll have that tornado warning in effect. And that's just east of Austin.
Yeah, and is the severe thunderstorm warning still in effect?
Oh, I turned that off. It's just flash flood warning.
Okay,
right
I understand. Sorry, I was about to say, man, did they cancel that? But yes, that is still in place. Everyone, just heads up.
So the severe thunderstorm warning still in place. Any updates from the National Weather Service there? Looking at very broad, really, really weak rotation with this storm. I'd say, the threat is going to be flash flooding and gusty winds at this point.
Yeah, it's really going to be the stronger winds and possibly that pea-sized hail that's going to be moving across Highway 281 right now. Again, that is going to be the Timberwood Park area as well as Bulverde. Right now, those are the spots seeing the strongest of the winds, the heaviest of the rain, possibly even some pea-sized hail. Hilda says, I have friends camping at Canyon Lake. Hilda, give them a phone call right now and tell them to go ahead and find a sturdy structure just because they could come across some strong winds. You don't want to be in a tent whenever there's a strong winds coming through. Meteorologist Meagan, Massey, and myself actually were big on camping, and we were camping at one point, and there were strong winds. And we actually decided to pack up and head home early because the winds were too strong and we didn't want to risk a tree coming down and injuring or killing us. So if anybody is out there camping in a tent and they are, maybe out towards Canyon Lake, give them a phone call. They don't necessarily have to pack up and leave because it's not going to be like this into this evening. But you may want to let them know, hey, go ahead and maybe pack up real quick and go head to a sturdy structure for the next few hours.
I'm pretty sure we had high wind in Canyon Lake. We've been on Facebook Live for a while, and we've been looking at radar over the Canyon Lake area. Even though Canyon Lake wasn't in the severe thunderstorm warning, they've seen tremendous rainfall and also a lot of frequent cloud to ground lightning. So if they're camping, they likely already packed up, if I had to guess.
I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so. But they likely already did because that was a lot of heavy rain moving through that area.
Yeah.
Are we seeing any reports of anything? Or?
No, I'm checking social media. So that's one of the ways that we like to get reports as well. If you have any reports yourself, send it to Meagan Massey WX or Angel WX on Twitter. We love getting your reports. There's nothing better than a ground report. Of course, if you can get it safely. Do not risk your life to send us a photo or video. If you can get a video or photo safely of maybe the rain outside, maybe a little bit of ponding in your yard, send it to Andrew Wilson WX or Meagan Massey WX on Twitter. You could also send it to our email, awilson@kens5.com or mmassey@kens5.com.
And Nathaniel, to answer your question, all this active activity, all this heavy rainfall and the thunderstorm warning, that is well northeast of you. In fact, this is north of San Antonio now, moving out of Bexar County. So a lot of these storms are moving very slow, hence why the warnings are still in place over the next 30 minutes or so. And so that's why those warnings have been extended with time. These storms have really slowed down, but a lot of them are taking an easterly track too. Yeah,
and I'm checking the Guadalupe River just below the dam. It does look like it has gone up a little bit, but only by a half a foot. So nothing too significant there. That's going to be just below the dam at Canyon Lake for the Guadalupe River. Nothing too concerning though. So I'm watching these rivers closely, guys, though, because we do have that flash flood warning in Comal County.
Will likely increase over the next couple of hours, especially in Comal County because of that flash flood warning.
Yeah, and I'm watching the Blanco River too. I know that's a spot that we have to watch extra close after 2015. Right now, the Blanco River not looking like too much of an issue. Only up about 0.2 of a foot from this rainfall. So not an issue right now. But I'm watching these rivers close, guys.
And if you're just joining us, there is a tornado watch in effect for Bexar County. This also includes areas to the north of Bexar County, also up into Travis County, Comal County, Hayes. This tornado watch is in effect until 5 p.m. this afternoon.
Yeah, so we have Bexar County is included in that. You see Kendall, stretching up to Blanco, Comal, Hayes. A lot of different counties out there that are included within this tornado watch.
And so it looks like we have team coverage going on as well on KENS 5 Eyewitness News on midday. We have Stacia Wilson on, we have Paul on, and they're both talking about the tornado watch currently in place. They're giving a radar overview right now. Of course, we're going to stick with you on Facebook Live just in case some of you lose power with a lot of these electric and noisy thunderstorms moving through.
Yeah, KENS 5 noon just started. We see meteorologist Stacia Wilson on the screen right now ourselves. We watch from here at home as well while we're working to see what they're getting, and it looks like they have some video in of some heavy rainfall occurring. I believe that is going to be up towards Fair Oaks Ranch. I think I saw that email coming over our computer over that over the heavy rainfall that they were experiencing. So a lot of rain again. If you haven't experienced anything strong or severe, you're at least having the heavy rainfall yourself. Excuse me.
So let's zoom in on where exactly the heavy rain is falling over Comal counties. So we'll kind of zoom in here. I'm not going to move around too much just so you guys can see, you know, the looping radar. There's that severe thunderstorm warning in effect. It includes northern portions of Bexar County. Currently moving east at about 15 miles per hour. So these are heavy rainfall, producing showers and storms, and they're slow moving. So that's why we have that flash flood warning in effect for Comal County.
Yeah, and the National Weather Service actually just mentioned something here for us about the heavy rainfall that's been occurring in Comal County, and they've said that the area with the most rainfall today has been central Comal County. The GBRA gauge in Starksville is up to 11.41 inches so far today.
Wow.
And I believe that's the maybe the river itself's gauge. Very localized heavy rainfall totals. Gauges around there have 3 to 5 inches. The area is about to be impacted with more rain from the storm currently over Valverde. So the storm over Valverde, which is actually producing some of the heaviest right now in our viewing area, is about to move over that region and bring even more issues possibly. So the National Weather Service is working to confirm the total of the Starksville rainfall. And we can actually see, do you have the 12-hour rainfall able to hold up?
So I have the 24-hour.
Yeah, that'll be great because most of this has been more recent, but we'll at least be able to get a good idea. There it is. There's that central kind of bullseye. 4.4 inches near Canyon Lake, 6 inches right there over Canyon Lake. So that's going to be where I said that I saw the water going up a little bit along the Guadalupe River. Not to an area that's concerning. The Guadalupe River does not look like it's going to flood right now, but it is something we are watching very closely.
Let's see if we can look at hail tracker as well, just to see some of these.
It's like a little bit of pea-sized hail over Timberwood Park, but that's about it.
And also just east of Canyon Lake, some pea-sized hail there too. And they're outside of the severe thunderstorm warning right now. So even if you're outside the severe thunderstorm warning, we're still looking at storms packing a punch right now.
Yeah. Just checking a few things with work here, guys. Just give me 1 second.
So, Mary, it could be an issue maybe with Facebook notifications. I know sometimes that has happened to me too. I would just have to go into my Facebook settings and make sure that, you know, I'm following, you know, certain things and also have the notifications turned on for the page. So try looking at maybe the settings for KENS 5, see if you're following us. And I don't know. I would just definitely check the settings there. That is kind of weird though. Let's look at radar here. Any new updates on your end?
No, I'm not seeing anything really new on my end either. I'm trying to see if the National Weather Service has anything new, and they don't. So, guys, again, the main issue is now crossing 281, kind of right at Timberwood Park and near Bulverde. 46 and 281, that's where the heaviest rain is. Really kind of even south of that over Bulverde and over portions of Timberwood Park again. I just had a few roads up there. Let me see if I can get it back up. So Johnson Way, it's kind of hard to see, so I'm going to get real close here, guys. FM 3009, Natural Bridge Caverns Road, all areas that are about to be really impacted by heavy rain moving through the region.
And I'm watching this, and it looks like it is, kind of, developing some heavier rain on the southern tier. So this is going to be just Garden Ridge. So what I'm trying to get at is that New Braunfels could be clipped by this storm and see some heavy rain from it.
Yeah, maybe even some strong winds. So that's something to keep in mind. New Braunfels, strong winds could be possible for you. You may even see some pea-sized hail in your area.
We're seeing a little shower trying to pop up over Live Oak and the Converse area near Windcrest. It actually just moved over Windcrest right now. That storm is non-severe, but we'll be watching it because it is, kind of blowing up over the Live Oak area. So heads up to Shirts. You guys will see some heavy rain here shortly, and also Selma. So we'll be watching that. Also Universal City, North Cliff up into Garden Ridge. We'll be watching that little shower over you right now. It's not severe. We're not even seeing some cloud to ground lightning as far as looking at radar right now. We're not seeing any lightning with that shower, but we're definitely watching it.
Yeah. So we'll keep a close eye on that one. 46 and 281 is just really where the heaviest rain in our viewing area is right now. I'm going to zoom out. I'm actually zooming in more and more and more. Sorry, guys. Not trying to make you sick with so much radar movement there. So Canyon Lake still has heavy rain, and I want to point something out. This is so close to the radar site that it kind of looks like a little bit of an error there. I think we still have heavy rain in that area. It's just so close to the radar site that the radar is having trouble deciphering what's going on right there. So I think we still have heavy rain over Canyon Lake and areas of the Guadalupe River downstream from the dam. I think we still have heavy rain falling there as well. And
could see maybe some pea-sized hail moving into Bulverde right now. So I see a little pocket of purple, some bright purples there within this severe warned storm. So Timberwood Park, it actually looks like you are there right now. The heavy rain has moved east of you, probably still getting some light drizzle and some sprinkles if you live in the Timberwood Park area. But heavy rain and gusty winds and some pea-sized hail now moving out of Timber Park into Bulverde right now. So just a heads up to Canyon Lake. This is a slow moving, but it's definitely worth keeping your eyes on.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Do we have any updates or reports over there?
Yeah, I'm looking at video from some of the storms off to our northeast. Just trying to get an idea about what some of these other storms may have been doing as well, because a storm system, storms have similar behavior when they're all within a storm system. They can have similar behavior. So I'm just trying to keep a close eye on what some of these other storms have done, not in our viewing area, but at least nearby.
Right.
Okay, so we have another preliminary report. Spotter east-northeast of Bulverde, standing water up to 1 foot deep at the underpass of US 281 over FM 1863.
I'm just trying to look at a few things myself here.
All right.
It looks like that hail core has kind of dissipated a little bit. Looking at a new radar scan, so right over a Bulverde, probably looking at less of a chance for any pea-sized hail. just more of heavy rain at this point. We still have 6 minutes to go on this severe thunderstorm warning. Again, the main hazard with this warning will be the 60-mile-an-hour wind gust, so we're not looking at that tornado threat with the severe thunderstorm warning anymore. We'll definitely watch, though, to see if any additional showers and storms pop up later this afternoon, because we do have that tornado watch in place for Bexar County, Comal County, up into central Texas through about 5 p.m. today.
Yeah, the flash flooding is also going to continue to be a concern. So even after these storms are gone, a lot of this water is going to be pouring into a lot of the lakes and rivers, and that's going to be something that we're going to be watching closely. Right now, nothing in the way of flooding along the rivers expected, but it's something we're going to watch closely.
And you've been watching some of the gauges, the river gauges over there too, and you haven't seen any major differences, right?
Yeah, I haven't seen any major differences, but we have had water rising. So it'll be important that people aren't tubing today, especially with the lightning.
Yeah.
Not a good day to float the river.
So let's look at a few more things here. What I'm going to do is put on a hail tracker just to see, if there are still any hail cores within this storm, and it looks like, like I've said, that hail core has really weakened as it Bulverde right now. So it looks like the gusty winds will be the primary concern, like what we've been talking about, along with the flash flood threat. Now, rainfall we've already seen 2+ inches of rain falling over Comal County right now, hence why they're under that flash flood warning in effect through the afternoon. So that is one of the biggest concerns, is now we're not only looking at the potential for 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts, but also high rainfall rates of 2 to 3 inches, maybe even 5 inches per hour.
Yeah, and it looks like, Megan, you were mentioning that severe thunderstorm warning doesn't have much longer than about 5 minutes. The National Weather Service has now issued a significant weather advisory for northern Bexar and parts of Comal County on PM. That typically lets us know that they're looking to cancel the severe thunderstorm warning.
So it has weakened a little bit. It's still under severe thunderstorm warning criteria, but overall still packing a punch when it comes to the flash flood threat.
Yeah, so they're saying significant weather advisory because it's weakened a little bit, not as strong of winds, not as large of hail. That possibility for a tornado has pretty much diminished. And not saying that one will be formed, but it's pretty much diminished. But we still have that issue of heavy rain moving through.
Let's look at a few things here. What I want to bring up is our sky cams right now. Looking at our sky cam network, you can see the ominous skies over San Antonio, Calaveras Lake. Cloud cover in place. Our temperatures really haven't changed that much. We looked at temps the last hour, and we were only at 74, and now we're at 75 in San Antonio. So we're gradually warming up. I think a lot of us will have high temperatures well below normal in the upper 70s. So it will be a little bit cool today. For southern counties, kind of a different story. We already have George West near 90, Beeville near 90. They haven't seen much rainfall like San Antonio. A lot of us woke up to some shower activity this morning. So with the rain, with the saturated soil, that's really helped temperatures stay pretty low. Dew points right now, we've been talking about that southeasterly wind. The southeasterly wind is what's making us feel a little bit more sticky outside. So dews are now in the mid and upper 60s. I hope you enjoyed the comfortable weather the last couple of days, because moving forward, it looks like it will stay pretty tropical like outside.
Yeah, and all that moisture could lead to a lot of heavy rainfall over the next week, and that's what's going to lead to that possibly 5 inches of rainfall in some spots over the next 7 days.
Yeah, so that's going to be the big topic, I think, will be our rainfall rates, our rainfall totals. So that's why it's so important to stay weather aware, not only today, but also through the upcoming days into our weekend. It is still pretty breezy out there. I see the trees kind of shaking outside my window. We have a south wind sustained at 22 miles an hour in George West and Beeville, right along the coastal bend there. Sustained wind right now at 28 in Victoria. Right around 12 miles per hour in San Antonio. I think it will stay breezy really today into this evening. and also over the next couple of days. Andrew was just talking about our forecast rainfall. You know, we've had some areas pick up. What was the rainfall totals again? You were saying, what, 5+ inches in some areas?
Yeah, but it was like 4.4 in central Comal County, it looked like, and even more is on the way there.
Yeah, so we've kind of seen an uptick in our rainfall over the next 7 days. I know I was showing this Sunday evening during the newscast, and we saw, you know, some lighter shades of blue showing 1.5 inches of rain. Now we're starting to see 3 to 5 inches of rain. This is going to be a flash flood threat, especially if you live over the hill country near rivers, lakes, flood-prone areas. This is something we'll definitely keep our eyes on. Best chances for rain?
And you know, I've got a report here.
Okay.
They are forecasting the Guadalupe River in New Braunfels is expected to spike in the next 2 hours.
Okay.
It is going to be within the action stage, and it's expected to spike at 6.7 feet. So what happens at the river when it's at 6.7? Minor lowland flooding reaches the lower portions of campsites along River Road. If you know anybody camping along the Guadalupe River, they need to pack up their tents and they need to get to higher ground. That's going to be along River Road. That's the Guadalupe River between the Canyon Lake Dam all the way down to New Braunfels.
So that goes back to what I was saying with the flooding being the big concern with rivers and lakes.
Yeah, and you know, we talked about not flooding the river. If you know where the bridge is in green that you cross, and there's there are two of the tubing places right there, right as you come out of downtown Green, and you go down the hill and you cross the bridge. The water is expected to reach the floor of Green or reach the bridge floor at Green Road. So it's expected to rise up and be touching that bridge there. So that's important to know as well. And you know, it's going to be getting close to 7 feet. So I want to mention what happens at 7 feet. This isn't necessarily what is going to happen, but it will be coming close to this. It will be reaching the lower sections. The water will be reaching the lower sections of River Road above New Braunfels, threatening sleeping campers. So if you know anybody who's in campers, I would suggest they go ahead and at least hook up and get ready to move if they need to, in case the heavy rain that continues to move in does cause this water to go over 7 feet.
Right.
Be prepared to move the camper. So if you're watching us, or if you know anybody who's up there in a camper, you need to be ready to move the camper. Autos and gear on low areas near and above Green could be impacted by this, and the bridge on Green Road becomes flooded and impassable. I'm going to send this into the newsroom so they're aware of it, guys.
Yeah, and I just want to point out something on our 7-day. You know, we're looking at heavy rainfall over Comal County right now, but we're going to see our best rain chances over the weekend. So that's why we've been saying, you know, stay weather aware. 3 to 5 inches of rain with locally higher amounts definitely possible over the next 7 days. In fact, I think our highest rainfall coverage will be over 5 inches, especially if you live in Comal County, and that's going to be over the next 7 days. That's why there is that flash flood warning in effect for Comal County, and it's going to stay in effect for several hours. So they've already seen rainfall rates when they issued the warning, 3 to 5 inches. And so, you know, flooding has been ongoing, or it could occur lately. So that's going to be the biggest hazard with this. And the flash flood warning will continue for 2 hours and 12 minutes. And it looks like we're going to see a big batch of heavy rain move toward the Canyon Lake area again. So the heavier rain starting to move out of Bulverde, still picking up on some light, maybe moderate rain over Bulverde downtown right now. But yeah, it looks like another batch of heavy rain moving toward the Canyon Lake area as of right now. It looks like most of this will stay. Let's put it into motion here, northwest of New Braunfels, but they could still get heavy rain from the shower activity over Garden Ridge right now.
Yeah, so Yeah, the really heavy rainfall over Seguin too. I mean, we just have a lot of showers that are popping up. And guys, sorry that I've been looking over here so much. I'm trying to gather information and send it into the newsroom. So we're working remotely with everyone else working remotely, trying to make sure all the information can get out to keep it informed and safe.
Right.
So a lot of the heavier rain now east of 281 no longer really impacting the Timberwolf Park area as much unless you're just east of 281. Same thing for Bulverde.
Right.
Highway 46, though, looking pretty damp from between 281 and New Braunfels.
Are they saying anything on chat over there with any more updates?
Well, I'm checking that now. They're still talking about tornado warnings outside of our viewing area. That's going to be closer towards Giddings. Meteorologist Paul Morales right now showing where that is on the on television. Remember, we're on KENS 5 TV at the moment too, on CBS, and that tornado warning outside of our viewing area and moving away. So not an issue for us, but nothing on anything that we're dealing with here in South Texas.
Right, so the heaviest rain now moving mostly out of Bexar County. We're still watching a few showers try to pop up near Helotes into Lake Hills right now, Shirts, Converse, northeast side of San Antonio. So that includes, you know, the Alamo Heights area, Kirby up into Windcrest. We're still looking at a few on and off hit or miss showers there.
Yeah. Another thing I want to mention about the Guadalupe River, guys, it's only going into the action stage. It's not expected to go into a flood stage, but it is rising quickly. So if you're on the river, you will want to move. If you're right up against it, maybe you know someone camping right up against it, they'll want to move. I know a lot of people are trying to spend more time outside. We've been trying to spend a lot more time outside, and if they're maybe outside camping, they don't want to be out there right up against the river. Just get to higher ground, wait a few hours. The Guadalupe River is known to go up quickly and go down quickly in the section that I'm talking about. And that's what it will do. It will go up quickly and go down quickly, and then they can go right back to where they were. But you'll want to be careful of snakes with that kind of situation. So just an extra tidbit of information there. I'm checking out the Guadalupe River below the Comal. So where the two meet, below it in New Braunfels, it's looking like there's not as much of an issue there. The river is going to rise from the 9.6 currently at to 11.9, so it will rise 2 feet, but it is not expected to flood or have the flooding. So no threat there, but the main threat is going to be between on the Guadalupe River between the Canyon Lake Dam down to New Braunfels. So that's where we could see some flooding along River Road. Is
there any way to pull this graphic up full to see more of the city views?
Yeah, we can do that. Give us 1 second, guys.
And what I'll do here while you're doing that is I will put this into motion just so you could see how slow moving these showers and storms are.
Yeah, so you see the really heavy rain, and it's moving over areas already had heavy rain. That area 46, when you get closer towards Canyon Lake, that's where some of the heaviest rain has fallen today, where we've already seen forests. And the reason why they're expecting the river to spike even higher is because there's more heavy rain moving over that area. So the river will start to rise quickly. I mean, it's going to take 2 hours to rise very fast. It's not going to take very long at all. It's definitely not somewhere you want to be. You don't want to be right up against the river right now just because the water will rise so quickly.
You know, we are under that tornado watch through 5 p.m. I think the, you know, best chances for rain, and that's pretty interesting. You know, we just set, we've seen an uptick in our severe weather. So now we're under that level 2 slight risk for parts of the Austin area up into Comal County. But really what's more important is just the watch that's current effect. This means that conditions are still favorable to support some brief spin-up tornadoes, but on top of that, quarter-size hail and also gusty winds. So we see if there are any changes with counties, to see if any counties are added or also trimmed back. If you're in or this watch, definitely keep your eyes on the sky today and stay weather aware.
Yeah, and we're of course going to continue to keep tracking everything here behind the scenes. When we do get off, we'll likely, if nothing else becomes severe here within the next 15 minutes, we'll likely hop off, and then we'll be back on for our
Cloudy with the chance
of learning. That's going to be at 1 p.m. Tropical Tuesday is today. Talking a little bit about storm surge. So we're not just going to be talking about that, though. We're going to be talking about the strong to severe storms today. So feel welcome to tune into that. And if for some reason we do need to cut off a Cloudy with a Chance of Learning, or for some reason if we say we may have to cancel it today, we can always continue it next week. That, you know, sometimes the weather can impact our plans as well with Cloudy with a Chance of Learning. But I encourage kids to still tune into Cloudy with a Chance of Learning at 1, because there will be a lot to learn about with severe weather, at least.
I think so too.
Yeah.
So any other updates there?
Let me check. It looks like tornado warning has now been issued for Comal and Hays County. So we just had a tornado warning issued.
For the New Braunfels area.
Yeah. So, hey guys, we've got this pulling up right now. We're pulling up radar again.
So here it is. So now we have that newly issued tornado warning. You could see the red polygon there. What I'm going to do is move the radar slightly just so we can see most of Comal County and see its warning. So this is exactly why we have this tornado watch in effect. You know, brief spin up tornadoes. Storms are going to fluctuate in intensity. They're going to weaken, and they're going to strengthen, they're going to weaken again, and then strengthen. So this is why we've been sticking with you, just to see if anything happens, and of course it did. And
something also, you know, this is going to be right along River Road itself where this this warning is. So it's going to be passing along River Road rather. So that's another thing, not just the rising water, but also now we have a tornado warning. I will say the rotation looks pretty broad on this.
Pretty broad.
So it's likely, you know, the tornado is possible, but it's likely going to be more straight line winds with this. But a tornado will be possible. They're heading towards just off to the north of New Braunfels. And
so this is in effect through 1 p.m.
Yeah. And this impacted the green area. So I'm going to zoom down just a little bit more, guys. Again, shirts, you have heavy rain, you're fine though. The only warning we have in the Kents 5 viewing area now, other than the flash flood warnings, is this tornado warning in New Braunfels, or rather just off on the north side of New Braunfels. Here's some of the towns in the way of this: Hunter, Thornhill,
New
Green.
Braunfels.
Yeah, New Braunfels and Green. The area of rotation that we're talking about is going to be located right here. This is going to be it. It's going to be located right there, and it is moving in this direction. So it may be just north of New Braunfels, but it could just go right over it. It's going to be pretty close, especially close to Green. So the Green area, which is located, let me draw another circle here. Green is located about in here near Thornhill. You see the rotation will be passing close to you, and we're going to be watching that very closely. And Kents 5 at noon is ending now, but I think we're about to go into severe weather coverage on there as well. So keep with Kents 5 on CBS. They're coming out of the show now, but I'm pretty sure we're about to pop into tornado coverage there on Kents 5.
So it looks like the rotation is radar indicated. It's about 9 miles southwest of Canyon Lake Dam. It is moving east at about 25 miles per hour. So now this storm has picked up some speed. It's moving east at 25 miles per hour. If you're in New Braunfels, San Marcos, Canyon Lake. We talked about Green. Make sure you get into a sturdy shelter. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. So Andrew's drawing a track here.
You said due east?
Yes, due east.
Okay. So here's some of the communities in the way. And I want you to know it doesn't include New Braunfels, but basically include New Braunfels here. So 246, it will be arriving to Green. It's about 240 for New Braunfels then. So because know that it could shift south a little bit. Sometimes these tornado warning storms do that. And we're going to look at that closely. It will be closer to green, but New Braunfels needs to be in their safe place as well.
Crystal has been commenting, saying lots of flooding in Bulverde. I definitely believe it. She says we have waterfalls in our backyard. Wow.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, we have had reports of water ponding on roadways and becoming a big issue on some of the roads there in the Bulverde area. So thank you for your report, Crystal. We appreciate it.
Can we actually take this full so people can see this a little bit better on Facebook?
Yes, I can.
So we're going to pull up the graphic full. We've laid out a timeline here. Again, this is moving about 30 miles per hour. So if the storm holds together, this is kind of what we're looking at here. Yeah,
so if the storm holds together, it's going to be impacting these communities. So I can see this a bit better now, though, guys.
So we're looking at 1246 in green. So if you're in these counties, this is a tornado warning in for you through 1 p.m. Make sure to put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. It's best to not panic when there is a tornado warning in place. You know that, and it's always best to be prepared.
Yeah, and again, this is the only warning in our area right now. So we don't see any other warnings within the Ken Spot viewing area. We have the flash flood warning right now. Comal County just getting hammered from anywhere from at least damaging winds to full tornado, and then the very heavy rainfall that's occurring as well.
And if you have any family or friends that live in New Braunfels or along the I-35 corridor, they're in the path of this tornado warning, please make sure to give them a heads up, give them a call, and make sure they move into shelter. And also, if you're listening to us maybe in the car and you're driving, it's best to just pull over, especially if you're under this warning, and just get into shelter immediately.
Yeah, it's important that everyone stays safe during these situations. Right now, the area of rotation is about to be crossing the Guadalupe River, right there, smack dab between where New Braunfels and Canyon Lake is. So it's going across River Road right now.
Seeing a lot of bright greens too on velocity. So when I'm talking about velocity, I'm talking about winds moving away and toward the radar. So we're still seeing broad rotation, but pretty good wind gusts, especially south of Lake, kind of sandwiched in between both New Braunfels and Canyon Lake.
Yeah, we had reported earlier the heavy rain at Starksville. It's so raining heavy in Starksville that all pours into the Guadalupe River. I'm zooming in a little bit, guys, so we can get an idea of what roads are in front of this. I believe that's FM 2722. It's kind of hard to see because our screen is a little bit smaller, guys. Let me see if I make it bigger. Yeah, 2722. FM 306. That is also an area where we're going to be watching for that rotation to pass near.
Right.
FM 2673. If you live along any of these roads, please head and get to shelter. We want you to be in your safe spot. Havenwood Boulevard, stretching over towards Hunter, where I-35. So that's where that rotation really is right now, and it's shifting off to the east at about 20. You said 25 to 30 miles per hour, Meagan?
About 25 to 30 miles per hour.
Okay.
So it looks like it's speeding up, slowing down, but now it's sped up again. So if you're in green and also Hunter along I-35, definitely move into that sturdy shelter and put as many walls between you and the outside as possible, and also stay away from windows. Again, this is radar indicated. This is a radar indicated rotation, and what we're looking at is fairly broad rotation, but we still have that tornado watch in effect for Barrett and Comal counties. We have an environment favorable to support any brief spin-up tornadoes. We've already had a report of a tornado in central Texas today outside of our viewing. So that's why we're going to keep track of this.
Yeah, and something beyond just the threat for the tornado warning here and the damaging winds from the possible severe thunderstorm capabilities of this storm. It also has produced half hail near Bulverde. We've had reports of half-inch size hail, so we could have hail with this storm as well as it continues off towards the east.
I was actually just looking at that hail report too, and let's see, some street flooding also. Looks to be just west of Bulverde. Of course, we've had a few of you comment about some flash flooding, just like Crystal talking about the flooding in her backyard in Bulverde. So definitely take that seriously.
Yeah, because flooding kills more people every year than anything else. More than tornadoes, more than severe thunderstorms, more than lightning, flooding kills more. Water is dangerous. And that's why I mentioned that the Guadalupe River is expected to get near that 7-foot mark, which is considered minor flooding. And honestly, it's not considered minor if you're in a camper right along the river. That could be everything on the river for you, or at least your campsite getting flooded. So that's why I said, if you know anybody along the river, it's going to rise very quickly. Tell them to go ahead and hook up their camper and be ready to move if needed. And watch that river close. It can happen really fast. I mean, it could happen in 30 minutes, and all of a sudden the water that was once tens of feet away is now under your camper.
So what I'm going to do is just zoom out a little bit here, and I want to put lightning on. Just seeing several cloud to ground lightning strikes within this tornado warned storm. I'm putting this in a 2-hour loop, so you're looking at the last 2 hours. And typically when we see more frequent cloud to ground lightning, showing us that this storm has strengthened a little bit.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we're seeing right there. So yeah, a strong updraft. That's kind of what that lets us know.
Right.
We have a strong updraft within the storm, and that's as it is approaching. Still, it's likely going right over River Road now, and then we'll continue to shift off towards the east and impact northern edges of New Braunfels, just on the north side of New Braunfels, and into the Green community. Checking some emails coming in, guys. So,
and let us know if you see anything too. If you have any reports and you want to safely send reports, use the hashtag KENS5Eyewitness. You are our eyes out there, and so we would like to see those reports.
Yeah, and wow, it looks like we may have had a funnel cloud at one point earlier on today, not right now. In the Fair Oaks Ranch area. Okay. There was at least some rotation within a thunderstorm, but that was earlier today, not right now. Fair Oaks Ranch, you're fine now. But that would also be the same storm that we're watching. When we had that, we did have that tornado warning in the Fair Oaks Ranch area earlier on today.
And you can see some high winds that's south of Canyon Lake. So that's kind of what we're looking at there. Still pretty broad rotation, though. I've turned on velocity. This is, wind and also precip moving toward the radar in the greens and also away from radar in the reds. That's typically what we look at to see if there's any rotation or any tight couplet to indicate a tornado.
Yeah, so not a very tight couplet. We look at these all the time. Even when it's not in our viewing area, we look at these couplets to get an idea of what a tight couplet is and what one is not. And that's not a tight couplet. So it's broad rotation. The threat, though, is the reason why there is still a tornado warning is that with the intensifying of the storm, rapid intensification of a thunderstorm can cause that rotation, that broad rotation, to tighten up. It kind of elongates it and tightens it up. And with that, we could have a tornado to form quickly. So that's why they've left this tornado warning up, and I think it's a good call by the National Weather Service.
Definitely. And one tricky thing here, and you kind of see this on radar, is we're pretty close to the New Braunfels radar site. And
we are.
And so we're going to see some lack in data here.
Yeah. Sometimes too close to a radar site, it can cause some issues. You kind of see that with the rain, the kind of choppiness of it around the radar site. Great point, Megan. Yeah, we could have a little lack in data, so it could be hard to see as it gets too close to the radar site.
You kind of see these spikes within the colors, just a little bit of fuzziness there. Going, okay, we're pretty close to the radar site. So once this storm moves past and a little bit away from the radar, we're going to get better data. So that's kind of why we're also going to stick with this too, is just to see what winds are doing within this storm. Still looking at pretty decent wind gusts, especially on the northwestern tier of this polygon. Seeing some bright greens, a little bit of bright reds, but none of that tight rotation. So that's good. Rotation is still broad. Again, this is a radar indicated rotation, but it's going to be hard to see because we are so close to that radar site.
Yeah, here's something important to know. If you are between Canyon Lake and north of New Braunfels, that's what that new polygon is showing. It's showing right where they think it is. So New Braunfels, I think you're safe. Green, I would still be in your safe spot. If you're in Canyon Lake, this is south of you. This is south of the dam. So we're not talking about any issues in Canyon Lake, just a lot of heavy rainfall. By the way, a lot of the flooding issues is south of the dam too. That's where we expect the flooding along the Guadalupe River. Not, I misspoke there, not necessarily flooding, but a rapid rise in water, leading the river to go into the action stage. The action stage of the Guadalupe River, and that portion of the river, because it depends on where you are, is 6 feet. And that, with that being said, it's expected to rise to 6.7, which means that some tent areas and areas just along River Road could flood.
Yeah. That's a very good point. So what I'm going to do is pause this here so you can see where the heaviest rain is falling. So now we're just getting closer and closer to that radar site. We have our sweeping radar on. So that little ball that you see that's just east of New Braunfels, east of I-35, that's where our radar site currently is. So as it's sweeping and it's taking all this data, we're kind of seeing, you know, this fuzziness. And reflectivity, aka our radar data. So that's something we'll have to watch too.
Yeah, so we'll keep a close eye on that storm. Let's take a wide look out, Megan, just because it's been a while since we zoomed out to kind of show people what's going on across the region. We do have some shower activity in eastern Kerr, northern Kendall County. That's an issue there. None of those are expected to be an issue either down the road. Those should not be a problem. Something that they could, I guess, in a way that they could be a problem, is more rainfall over areas that have already had heavy rain. So we'll watch those closely for heavy rainfall, but no severe concern with those over eastern Kerr and northern Kendall County.
So I have put on storm reports. We haven't seen any anything official come through quite yet. So there's actually a flood report that's been put in by the National Weather Service. So what we're going to do here is click on the flood report. This is Comal County, flash flooding. You were talking about this. This is in Canyon Lake. Time of this report about 12:11 this afternoon. So still a bit of a delay there, but you know, they're very busy at the National Weather Service office. They're the ones that issue these tornado and flash flood and severe thunderstorm warnings. So they're trying to work as fast as they can, and they are inputting also official reports. So
what time was that official report again?
12:11. So
they said that there was a photo of flooding on Twitter in the Starksville area.
Okay.
I'm going to go back and see if I can see what they're talking about. And find that photo, because I would love to share it with everybody too.
And if you have any photos or reports that you safely want to share, you can use the hashtag Kins5Eyewitness. We have Twitter pulled up as well, so we're keeping track of social media, also looking at different reports and updates there too.
Yeah, okay, so there's that flooding video.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Guys, we are going to pull this up. So I have a way to pull this up and share it with y'all. Let me see if I can get it set up. Megan, if you want to just continue to talk about that flood, I will get that pulled up for us.
Okay, so you know, we have both of these tornado warnings, or the tornado warning and also the flash flood warning in place. So looking at the wider view, this is outside of Barrett County. This is in Comal County. This is taking an easterly track at about 20 to 25 miles per hour. Again, this is radar indicated rotation. Right now, I'm just looking at radar to see, you know, the winds within this storm. Looks like pretty broad rotation, but I've been talking about how we're so close to the radar site, so sometimes the wind within the storm is going to be a little tough to see, but I would definitely seek shelter and stay in that shelter. You can listen to us on Facebook Live, Kins 5 app, you know, whatever you have, whatever mobile devices, of course, keep your phone charged just in case you lose power. We're still looking at a lot of cloud to ground lightning strikes. And typically when we see an uptick in our lightning, it means the storm has strengthened just a little bit. I've overlaid some storm reports. We have a flood report there in Comal County. That was in Canyon Lake, and the time of that report was around 12:11. So there's info there. And this one occurred a little bit earlier, looking east. This is in Bastrop County. This was right around 11 a.m. this morning, time of that report, but it was a little bit earlier than 11 a.m. when they had a view of a tornado. So that was a confirmed tornado. And I'm sure the Weather Service will survey that damage likely tomorrow or in the upcoming days. So they'll look at that. The flooding will be the biggest concern. We are under that flash flood warning. I'm going to actually pull that up here. And that flash flood warning is going to continue for a couple of hours. There it is. So there's the flash flood warning. It's in effect for Comal County. This includes a lot of people. So just a heads up, you know, watch the rivers, watch the lakes. We've been on top of it. We're kind of multitasking here. We've been looking at a few river gauges and all of that. So flash flood warning, we've already seen many rainfall gauges pick up 2 to 3 inches of rain with higher amounts. And that fell several hours ago, and we're still looking at on and off heavy rain, pockets of blinding rain, in fact, over that area. Here it looks like they have let go of that tornado warning, so the tornado warning has been allowed to expire for Comal County. Looking at, you know, velocity right now, we're looking at the wind within that storm really lost its rotation. Something we are going to watch, though, it's because we do have that tornado watch in place until 5 p.m. So because of this disturbance moving through, this wacky weather pattern, brief spin of tornadoes are still possible this afternoon. So that's why we'll be watching this. Yeah, so a lot of heavy rainfall. The main concern now, the tornado warning has now expired, but that heavy rainfall going to continue to be a concern here over these next few hours. It's something we are going to have to keep a very close eye on. And it looks like a new, let's see here. So I want to pull this up because it looks like a new warning was just issued here. All right. Sorry, guys. Again, we're all just kind of working, trying to gather up information behind the scenes here. I'm going to make sure everything's still good on our computer back at the station. Looks like everything's good. You know, the roads around San Antonio, we've had this rotating here, this rotating camera. Most of the roads are doing fine. We do have some very wet roadways in spots, though. You can really see it on the rotator. It's important that y'all take it easy on those wet roads. Don't try to drive too quick. Take your time, get into wherever you need to go. I know Schertz, that area just saw a lot of heavy rain move through, and that rain now towards the New Braunfels area. Yeah, so very heavy rain over I-35. We've been watching a few showers try to pop up over Schertz. Of course, those have been non-severe, but, you know, also seeing some more lightning with those storms over Schertz. So we'll be watching those too. Yes. And that is moving out of Selma too. So we've had some light to heavy rain over Selma. Looks like this non-severe storm is south of Garden Ridge. Any updates on your end over there? Just the, you know, the tornado warning was canceled, like we mentioned just a moment ago. There's an aerial flood advisory for Bastrop, Caldwell, Guadalupe, Hayes, and Lee and Travis County, so a large area. That just lets us know that even though the rain may stop, there could be some ongoing flooding as water kind of gathers up into the creeks and rivers over the next few hours. They're going to be watching that possibility for flooding in some areas. That's basically what that's telling us for that large county area. So what I'm going to pull up is a few of our flood alerts here. I'm also going to scroll up on radar, trying not to move the map around as much, just so you could see that. So there's the flash flood warning in effect through 2:30. You were talking about a flood advisory, right?
Yes.
An aerial flood advisory?
Correct.
Okay.
So I'm currently communicating with the newsroom guys just to make sure that they get all this information that we have. So if you see me just looking off the screen again, that's why I'm looking off the screen. Do we have any more questions coming in on Facebook, by the way?
I'll let you look at that, and I'm going to look at this advisory here. So we have many flood advisories in place. So let's look at a few of these here. So heavy rain continues to fall. This is mainly for counties along I-35. That's where we're looking at the heaviest rain falling as of right now. Can we pull up some of the, okay, here we go. So 1 to 3 inches of rain is expected over this area. Yeah, so that's the aerial flood advisory in effect through 3:45 this afternoon. So that's for Bastrop and Caldwell counties.
Yeah.
Do you have any updates coming in on your end?
No, I don't see any new updates coming in on my end. I'm trying to see if they have anything new on river levels. There is a significant weather advisory for eastern portions of Comal County. That's going to be from that storm that was tornado warned earlier, but the tornado warning canceled. Possibly some strong winds still associated with this. Could be a little bit of an issue there. And I-35 is going to be very wet right now.
Yeah.
You are not going to be wanting to drive along I-35. If you maybe have to make a trip to Austin today, hold off. Just wait. It is not worth trying to battle the traffic and the flooding on I-35 right now. Not necessarily flooding, but water ponding on the road right now.
I'm going to go to Facebook to see if there are any questions. Haven't seen any yet. So I'm going to go to radar to look at a few things. So you were talking about half-inch hail that's been reported just west of Bulverde. We've had some street flooding as well. And then we've also had some river/creek flooding. The Scenic Oaks area.
Yeah, so really heavy rain. And we actually saw, we had a video, and that's going to be likely in our newscast tonight, of some rotation up in the sky over the Scenic Oaks and Fair Oaks Ranch area. It did not look like anything was touching the surface. It did not look like the rotation was down to the surface, which would be a tornado.
Right.
It did not look like that, but not saying that one couldn't have briefly touched down. We did have a tornado warning there earlier, which is what sparked this Facebook Live while we're on, while we're on this Facebook Live in the first place.
So let's kind of look at a regional view of what's going on here. So we're going to look at a regional view. There is still a tornado warning in place, and it's moving toward College Station right now. So we're seeing kind of like this brief spin up. This is going to be east of Lexington and southwest of Caldwell. So if you have any friends up in central Texas near the Brazos Valley, definitely give them a heads up.
Yeah, because they have that's where a lot of these stronger to severe storms are really headed to. I mean, yeah, they've got some really strong storms. Is that tornado warning in College Station, or is that just north of College Station?
That's just west of College Station.
Just west of College Station. So school's not in right now, but maybe if you have family or friends working in College Station, there is a tornado warning storm that is moving in that direction. Not College Station, not currently under tornado warning, but it is a university where we do have family and friends at sometimes. That is outside of the KENS 5 viewing area, but we like to keep an eye on our neighbors too.
And that's going to be for Burleson County too.
Yeah.
So that's where that warning is. We'll go ahead and zoom into our viewing area just to show you where all the warnings are. There's currently no severe thunderstorm warning or tornado warning in place for South Texas up into Central Texas and the Brazos Valley. Yes, there's still that tornado warning there. We were just talking about how it's in effect for Burleson County. No warnings in effect for San Antonio, but we still have that flash flood warning for Comal County and several aerial flood advisories in place this afternoon along the I-35 corridor.
Yeah, and guys, here over this next next 2 minutes, we're going to wrap things up unless something, we need to make contact with the newsroom, let them know some of the stuff we've gathered. They're going to tell us about some of the stuff they've gathered. Right now, as long as things are quieter, remember, we still have that water that's going to spike on the Guadalupe River. We're going to watch that closely. We are likely going to be getting on here within the next few hours if that does seem to be an issue. We're going to keep you updated behind the scenes here. Of course, continue to post to our social media channels. You'll find all the updates there. But we're about to hop off here. We're going to meet up with on a conference call with some of the people at the station, gather some more information, and then continue to keep you updated, of course, while that's happening as well. We have our little at-home workstation. We also need to go let our dog out a little bit. He's been kind of in a safe place in the apartment, and I bet he's wanting to be let out for right now too. So guys, heavy rain along I-35. That's what's going to continue over the next few hours here.
Watch for flooding.
Yeah, watch for flooding. Watch for water ponding on the roadway, and stay safe out there. No tornado warnings, no severe thunderstorm warnings right now. We're going to gather some information from the newsroom, and we'll keep you updated right here on KENS 5 and KENS5.com. And on our Facebook, and on YouTube, and anywhere you can pick us up at.
All social media.
All social media, and that KENS 5 app. Don't forget, you should download that. I can keep you updated. So guys, we will be back on later today. Don't forget, we'll have the latest updates on weather and news on KENS 5 at 4, 5, 6, and 10 as well. Weather Chief Bill Taylor will be on, and we'll, of course, be tracking everything from here at home. Y'all have a great one.